guys. Alright, so today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make this. My apple is, my candle looks slanted only because my apple, it wasn't really too even. I mean, when I went to the supermarket to pick them up, I checked them, but I didn't realize this one had that much of a tilt to it. So when I finally put the candle in, it was level, but then it had a little tilt to it, so it's a bit leaned. Alright, so this is my I Lust You apple spell. So I told you guys in a couple of videos before, you know, when I first did my apple spell, what it entailed and, you know, how simple it was. So I created this maybe like 2010, I think 2010. So 2010, somebody contacted me. She's really close to me. She wanted me to help her with an apple spell. So she told me a few of what she thought it should have and what she wanted it for and stuff like that. And then there was a spell that she was working herself on, and it just didn't really make sense, like what she wanted and then the herbs she was using and, you know, her whole approach with the spell period. So I told her, I said, well, I'll come up with something for you. We'll try it out and see how it goes. And it was basically to make another man lust for her. So okay, so this is, I don't want you guys to get confused, because what I realize is when I tell you to do one thing, you guys email me and ask me about something totally different that has nothing to do with what I didn't mention. So when I give you specific details onto working something, you can follow it. If you don't follow it, then the rules that you're applying to the spell that I created will now be your own spell with whatever else you're doing. So if I give you directions on how to work something, it's very important to work it exactly that way. If I don't mention anything else, I do not do it. Okay? Her situation was she wanted this man to lust over her. She doesn't necessarily want to fall in love with him. She doesn't want, you know, that full-blown relationship. She doesn't want marriage. This is what she stated that she wanted. She wanted to keep it specifically just for lust. So if you're going to create a spell just for lust, do not confuse the opponent with working so many different angles on him that can confuse him. So you may start working a spell to create lust, and then 2 weeks later you want him to fall in love and marry you. You can't do that, because you're going to confuse this man's whole head. Like, he's going to be going in different directions, and you could possibly send him in a direction not coming to you at all when you do this, because you want him to love you, you want him to lust for you, you want him to want you, then you push him away, and then it's so much that you're going to create that you're going to create a whole confused man. So if you are going to work this, is specifically to make that person lust over you. She wanted him to lust over him, and she didn't want nothing else with him. She didn't want any relationship. She didn't want to have sex with him. She didn't want to be with him. She just wanted pure lust from this man. Okay? So if you want to have a sexual relationship with him and you just wanted to stay at lust, you can. She just wanted him to feel lust for her all the time. All the time. I mean, we worked different type of lust spells on him, and he was more drawn into this because he started coming after her in a more sexual manner, which is what she wanted. She wanted him to lust. She wanted him to not only mentally lust over her, she wanted him to sexually lust over her. She wanted him to 100% just feel that lust and the desire to want her sexually. She didn't want him to feel, because I guess some point or another, you know, she felt that way about him and he kind of blew her off. So she wanted him to feel those feelings, but she wasn't going to act on it. So if you want to sleep with this person, then you could switch up your petition and be very, very specific with your petition and what you want out of this spell. Okay? So we work this, and then we work the pink man candles. She worked those like once a month on him, and, you know, to keep him where she wanted him to be. Now, what a lot of you guys do not understand is you do not have to do a lifetime of spells on a man. You don't have to work them for, if you're working on a man for 30 years, then you're not doing some good work. Okay? I say if you're going to work on a man, especially one that is of very stubborn nature, you could find yourself working on this man for 9 months. You could find yourself working on this man for a full-blown year. until you get him to where you want him to be. Then again, some men, they'll take it to the work, typically within 3 months. You may have them locked in 3-4 months. And now what you could do is make sure that you have them wrapped up really well. A lot of times you guys ask me, I know this is kind of off topic or whatever, but I just wanted to say this because a lot of times you guys will ask me, is this spell permanent? Now, when you ask me, is this spell permanent, and you have never worked on this man before, you have never done nothing, I can't give you that answer, okay? You would have to basically let me know, or have a reading done, because sometimes you guys don't want to have a reading done because you say you're too scared to see what's happening. But I will have to get a reading done to see what type of man he is overall. Because you telling me, oh, this is what he's doing, this is what he's doing, there's obviously some, holes and voids into the relationship and what you really know, because there's things going on and you need to find out. So even if you tell me, well, he's this way, he's that way, sometimes you get a reading done and this man is a totally different man, or you get it done on a woman and she's not really who you expected her to be. And this is just an act that they are portraying to make you accept them for the person they're portraying to be, and they don't really want you to know how they really are. So if this person is very strong-willed and determined and very, very, very controlling, it's going to be very hard for you to get a spell to work on them that is going to work in 2 weeks. That doesn't happen, okay? You don't have to work on this person for 5 years straight, okay? Set a goal, set a time frame, because you got to understand, some spells take time to give you the results. So you may worked on him for 3 months, 4 months straight, and then by the 8th month is when you're going to start seeing every single thing that you did to this man just start taking a hold of him, wrapping him up so good that you possibly don't need to do nothing else but just keep a honey jar. That's probably the only thing that I would recommend you to work after. Continue working it to keep him sweet. You already done worked him up. You already done have him, under you. You have him obsessed. You have him, feeling that love and attraction to you. You may have him tied up in a mojo as well. You may have tied up his nature with a jackball mojo. You may have also, binded him to you. So you may have done the necessary things that, and took in the necessary steps to getting him to exactly where you want him to be. Like I told you guys, do not bind a man that is cheating on you, lying to you all the time, has several women, because now you are going to bind a man to you that's going to continue to be the same way, because you're binding him and his nature to you. So basically his nature is to cheat and lie and steal whatever he does. So now you tying him up to you, and I honestly do not think that that's a good idea at all. A lot of times you guys just want to automatically bind somebody that you've been broken up with for 2-3 years. It will not work like that. You cannot do that. You need to take the steps to bring this person back around, actually changing their whole perspective of what they think you are now. Change that, okay? Get them back to feeling that love, attraction, steady love, commitment, wanting a commitment, and taking the steps if necessary to marry you. If it's your husband to you want, sometimes a lot of women, I tell them, listen, you want to fix this relationship to the point where he wants to remarry you. He wants to fix things over, and he wants a chance. So when you're going to do certain things to somebody, like the binding and stuff like that, be very, very cautious, because a lot of times you guys want your lover back. And, I prefer a reconciliation where, we're going to smoothly pull him back in. Now, the intranquil spirit, she doesn't work that way. So she will create so much heavy thoughts on his mind that he can't eat or sleep or think without you, okay? Until he comes back. So be very, very cautious as to how you're going to bring this person back, because the intranquil keeps this man angry. Okay? Imagine a man that's restless, no sleep for 5-6 days. He can't even eat right. He can't even go to work. He can't even drive. He's just constantly thinking about you so much. And then when he finally does come back, he's angry. He's angry because of the spirit holding him up all the time. I do not think the intranquil spirit is a bad spirit. I've worked her numerous times when needed. But I feel like if I was to show you guys how to do that in tranquil, you know, call upon her and how to work a candle or spell, you guys will take advantage of it. Mainly because some of you sometimes just want your lover back so quickly. You don't care how you do it, when to do it. The Intranquil will keep this person also abusive and violent. Like, you know what it is to stay up and not be able to sleep and just think about one thing, and that's the person that you just broke up with, that you're supposed to be hating. So you have to consider that too. So if you're going to bring a person back, no binding automatically. Fix the relationship first, and then, you know, do what you have to do. Now, another thing I want to say too, we're going to get quickly back into the Apple. I know a lot of times some of you don't want to hear what I have to say because you want to go straight directly into the spell, but you have to listen sometimes so you can get a better understanding, because a lot of times you guys fast forward to the spell and then you email me, oh, you know, how do you do this? I talked about that. So I'm just going to ignore you. I won't even reply to your emails. I'm no longer going to waste my time and everybody else's time replying to emails from those that want to ask me questions about a spell that I did, that I gave direct, specific directions to, and then you want me to tell you how to do it. Or, you know, on my website, everything is detailed. I took my time to write every single thing out. Read it. It will give you exactly what it's supposed to do. It will tell you in details. So if you're going to email me and ask me, you know, what does this spell do? What is this for? Or what is that oil for? It tells you, and it tells you. Because you're wasting time asking me. And because I just refuse to answer it because there's so many repetitive questions when you could just pay attention. So if you, this is why sometimes I have to stop and talk and discuss things, because even though sometimes I don't get to make a video all the time, the questions that you guys ask me, they're right in the videos. I talk about it. And I tell you guys all the time, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. You guys are missing out, not me. So when I do post something and you guys send me 100 emails asking me the same thing, I already discussed it, I already said it, it was already done. So if I covered it already, I'm not going to recover it. It's just giving me a headache sometimes, to be honest. Keep answering questions about things that I have already covered, and everybody's grown and adult, so you guys have to learn how to pay attention. Another thing, just because you put reversing oil on a red or pink candle, that is not going to reverse anything. When you reverse, it has to go somewhere. So where are you sending it? If you put reversing oil on pink candles and you think that you're going to reverse the relationship that, you know, your lover is in, your partner, husband, wife, it's not going to do that. I understand where you want to go with it, but you need two different colors. So that's where you'll see the black, you'll see the red, you'll see the black, you'll see the green, you'll see the black, you'll see the white, you see the different colors, because it has to go from the bad aspects of what you was dealing with, and then you want to take it back to that person, right, with the black, and then to bring it back into the good aspects, which will be you, it will be the color either red, white, pink, green, you know, there'll be a different color underneath. So you're reversing it to go back to somewhere, back to someone. So whatever they did to you is going to go back to them, and then whatever good was supposed to be with you, period, is going to come back to you. So you're removing it off. You're removing it off of yourself and sending it back to the person. And then, you know, a lot of times you guys think, oh, I'll just put reversing oil on this and it'll just clear it up. No, it doesn't do that. A lot of times you guys want to also use black candles to control people. I don't use black to control people. I don't think you should either. I use black to curse, you know, to basically break up, separate. When you want to do certain spells to fix someone and cross them up and hex them, black is the color. So a lot of you, you know, sometimes even you're emailing me, and I don't have a problem answering your emails, replying to you, and I don't have a problem with doing none of that. But then some of you want me to give you a full-blown lesson in an email. Do you know how much texting that's going to be? And I don't do that. I can't give you a full lesson on what 40 spells that you just created, you know, what you should be doing with them. I can't. I did say I was going to make the class, do my classes, and I have a video that I have to post. But I did say I was going to make my classes and, you know, teach you guys how to do certain things. But I just really haven't gotten around the time to it because I've been really busy. I am going to try to post a video up for a skull. But the thing is, I want to show certain things, but I know some people are going to take advantage of what it is that I'm going to show. So, you know, if I show it to you, you guys take advantage of the situation and, you know, do it to everybody that you feel deserves to it. be prepared to keep yourself well protected. Be prepared to know how to prevent it from coming back to you. So don't just get all crazy. I'm going to do this to my sister-in-law. I'm going to do that to my baby father, to my boss. The next thing you know, they all fucked up. You didn't cover yourself. You didn't cleanse yourself. You didn't protect yourself. You're not shielded. You didn't set up a fairy wall. You didn't call upon your guardian angels to watch your back. And now you fucked up. So I'm very cautious as to what I can show you on what to do. And then also I'm going to be very cautious on what I'm showing the whole world. You got to understand that. I mean, the classes and showing you guys, it's a good idea. And you could just, you know, pick whatever class you want to learn from, and you'll get a full-blown spell on how to do it. But then I have to be very cautious as well in what I'm showing you guys, because, you know, not everybody watching is for the good. What I realize is you guys love to see the negative stuff. You love to see the bad stuff. You know, you love to, you know, quote-unquote, defend yourself and protect yourself. But if you're going to do bad to somebody, be very, very prepared for them to come really right back at you, honestly. You have to be, because now you're going to be creating a spell where you're hurting someone, destroying them. And sometimes not because they hurt you, you're doing it just because you feel like it. Because they looked at you wrong. Because they talked to your boyfriend. Because, you know, whatever crazy situation, just something that doesn't have any flaws to it. So I am gonna possibly try to post a video for it. I don't know how much I'll be able to keep up with it. If I can, I'll do it. If not, then I just will be something I won't be able to do. But a lot of you want me to really coach you through an email, and I can't do that. You want to work on 30 different spells. You want me to tell you what herbs are good. A lot of times you guys are just putting the wrong thing in these spells that you're creating. They make no sense at all. You want to work this candle with this. It's just, you want to put this oil on it. It just doesn't represent anything. If you're honestly going to be reversing, right? This is stuck here too because the wax. I melted some wax on it. So if you're going to create a reversing skull, you see him here. Okay, this one is created for love. I also have black and red, and I have it on my Instagram, and you guys can go look at the Instagram if you want to see that skull too. So if I want to reverse a situation for a man that's been worked on, you know, she's been doing a lot of stuff to him, and she's just, you know, working her spells on him, I would use this color. Okay, the black will go back to the person, the spellcaster, the witch, whatever you guys want to call her or him that's working on this person, will go here. Then right under here is him. This will represent the person that you wanted to go back onto. This whole skull will be him. This whole skull will be his head that we're reversing that whole spell on. Okay? So the black part will remove all the evil. The pink will bring back the love that is needed, that he wants. So what you can't do, you can't put reversing oil on the whole thing. Right? And then you have your, you know, reversing herbs and everything under here. They're embedded in there into the skull, and then I'll usually put a petition in there. So a lot of times now people will get this skull, they don't know exactly how to do it. The parts up here, if you're going to write on it, you can write on it. It's just that I don't write on them. I don't have the time to do that right now. Once I make the skulls, they dry, I have to put the paper in, print out your photo, write your petition, put it inside. I want to ship these out to you, so I don't really have the time to write all over them. So what you're going to do is you're going to write out everything, every single thing, and you're going to write it from, let me see, from the top down, everything bad that's been happening that you want to send it back to. So whatever her name is, return to sender. I reverse this back to you. I reverse this back to you. I reverse the hate back to you, the anger, heart broke. What else? All the negative emotions, you know, the separation between you and your relationship, I reverse that back to you. All of that will be up here. Then down at the bottom, you will write up. You write up and you'll write back. I reverse, you know, my heart to love again, my emotions to return, my wife to love me again. Whatever the situation is, you're gonna write that up. You can't put another way is put the reversing oil up here, and then you could put the love oil down here, all around here. That's another way you can do it when you reverse. So depending on what the situation is, the reversing goes up here, and then, you know, what you want back to you. You can work this on a mirror. So typically, a lot of times, you know, I have little round mirrors. I work them on there. Work it on the mirror, and, you know, you're going to send that back to the person that did it to you. Do you work this on your own head? So I have the gray. This is black. It looks gray, but is black and pink, and then I have a really, really, really dark one, real black, and then red, like a blood red at the bottom. And you can work either one of those. And you know, whoever it's for, I fix it up and I put it in there. But anyway, that's the best way to work a reversing candle. Like you just don't get black and put it on, because what are you reversing that black to? Where's it gonna come back? So that's why a lot of times the reversing candles are two colors. They need to be two colors. Okay. Now, when I tell you to dispose, don't go throw it in the middle of the road. I never told you to do that. Okay. I never told you guys, if you're gonna dispose something, when you're done with it, wrap up all of the remains. Okay. When I dispose things, these are my little bags that I use. I make bags out of these. I make mojos out of these. And I make dolls out of those. So you take that and wrap everything up inside, and I find a four-way street. It's a crossroad like this, right? 4 different intersections. And a lot of times, if it's abandoned building or just an abandoned lot, I will place it by that lot, in the lot or in the abandoned building. It will go either sometimes at a corner, and then I leave my offering there as well. So, you don't have to throw nothing in the middle of the road. You don't have to open no jars. Nobody told you guys to do that. I never said open a jar or break it in the middle of the river. I never said do none of that shit. So stop doing it. You guys will take one thing and ask another. If I never mentioned it, do not do it. At all. At all. Okay? And with the reversing, what I always do is, when you're done with the wax, you can wrap that up and you can leave it at a crossroad. And you can leave an offering. Okay, you don't have to leave an offering. You can. It's up to you. It's optional. You can leave it at a corner. Do not put it in the garbage. The garbage is not a good place to... I feel like you're throwing away your stuff. Like if somebody finds it and they just throw it in the garbage, you just take a lot of energy. You're just going to dump it in a garbage can. I don't think that's a good idea to throw it directly in the garbage. You want to place it somewhere. You want to do it late at night. You want to place it at the corner. You want to also get home. You want to take a bath. A lot of you want to do spells, but you don't want to do what comes with the spell and what comes after the spell. Sometimes what you have to do before. You guys just want to do it and just, I throw it in my garbage. No, like I told you, the candles, depending on what type of candle it is, breakup, destruction, reversing, you can wrap that up and you can leave that at a crossroad too. Some people, depending on how bad you want that breakup to be, they'll leave it at a graveyard. Okay? It all depends. So, just sometimes whatever remaining candles you have when you set your lights, you could just wash them out, take your pictures off, and clean them off, and you recycle them. So you could do it that way. You could do it the other way. You want to get rid of the remains. I told you what to do with the love remains. I told you what to do with the money remains, and that was covered that in the video called Buried. So you guys have to really look back and figure out, because I've covered a lot of the simple things around it. So I want to start covering more heavy spells, more interesting topics, like, on how to work certain people and their heads. And if I decide to take on a case, because I don't take on every single case that comes my way, because some people want unnecessary things done and just ridiculous things that they need to not even try to do. So if I decide to take a case and I will work your head, this is what I will use. This will represent your whole mind, and this is to turn this person crazy. I need dirt from a madhouse, like a psych ward where somebody died, and I need some of that dirt. I need this. There's like a lot that will go into me working your head and sending you fucking crazy. That's something that you could say it would be basically permanent once you send somebody crazy. Okay? Now, when you ask, I did talk about this earlier, but I didn't cover it necessarily. So when you ask me, is this spell permanent? It all depends. It really all depends how long you've been working on this person, because sometimes one spell is not going to suffice. You may need to work 3 different spells on this person until they really fully could get wrapped up into the spell where they're stuck in that ways. With some women turn their husband foolish, they work on them for a while. It's not a one-time thing. So it all depends on how long you've been working on this person and how long you want to work on this person. Like I said, you don't need to, it's not a lifetime thing when you're working on this person for 30 years straight. No, you don't have to do that. Okay? And if you're going to get into spiritual work and you're going to understand, you're going to try to understand the different realms of magic, you have to also understand that, nobody out there is going to work for free for you at all. So for those of you that kind of disgruntled and you do want a person to, understand with your situation where you spent a lot of money working on somebody yourself and you didn't get any results, and you still haven't gone and get a reading, and now you're mad at every single witch in the world saying all they want is just money. I mean, you got to understand this. When you drain someone's energy from them, they've been working on something for you all day. The spirits need payment. This person needs payment too, because this is their job. So you're not really going to find a witch that's going to work for free for you. The many cases that I do take on, people are serious about what they really want. And then you will find some people that want to complain about every witch they've been to. They feel like because that witch messed up, you should come and help them. It doesn't work like that. It honestly doesn't. And if you really want to work on something yourself and you have about $50, I'll recommend to you the stuff that you can buy. And I'll tell you what herbs and what oil you can get, and you can make that yourself. Supplies cost. You guys got to understand that too. Time costs, labor, and also, when you can sit there and when you break apart two people, that is a very strenuous spell. Like you taking a lot out of you to break apart two people. And when you do destruction spells, you guys have to understand, the destruction builds up. It's like the Tower card. Picture it, the Tower card reverse. It's still a fucked up card, okay? That momentum will now build slowly to get to you and then fuck you up. So think of your breakup like that. Think of your separation and your destruction like that. It's not, I never seen no breakup spell within a week. I never seen it. Every single breakup spell, destruction spell that I've worked, when I see the results hit, they hit real fucking nasty, okay? To the point where nobody knew exactly what happened. You get a phone call, oh, they broke up. I don't even know what happened. They was done. It was just so much bad was happening. And then within one day, everything just breaks down. So with the Tower card, up without it being reversed, it's still bad. Things are real fucked up for you. You're going through a lot of shit in your life. You are just from bad to bad to bad. Every corner you take, you're falling. You're gonna break through every single thing that happens, and nothing good is gonna come out of it. And you could possibly even go crazy too. So a lot of times when I do see that card popping up, and I do a reading, that's a good card. Either or. Now when it's upside down, that's a slow destruction coming for you. You cannot fight it. It's coming for you. And it will burn your ass like a fire. It'll slowly start, and then you see how fires, they burn everything down. Sometimes the fire department cannot control the fire because it's so aggressive. That is what you're working with. You're going to work with something very small, minor. You're going to keep overlooking it. Oh, look at this happening. Next thing you know, it's from small arguments to the next thing you know, you moving out of the whole house. He done put you out. The police done came and got you. You fucked up. You have been destroyed. The destruction has finally fucking hit you. You done going crazy in your house. You don't know what to do. You stop eating. You're not even going to work no more. You don't care about money. You don't care about nothing. You are unable to take care of your kids. That's how bad it is. So your mama done stepped in. She don't know what's going on. And you out there burning 100 candles. You don't even know how to do it. You don't have no energy. Everything has been drained out of you. You are gone. That's what I see when destruction comes. And then you have to fucking figure out what the fuck just happened, because it doesn't hit you so hard. But you've been sitting in the same place for 6 weeks. You don't want to comb your hair. You don't even want to brush your teeth. You are real bad. That's what pure and good destruction is. And if I make a jar for you and it done fucked up somebody like that, that's just what it is. So when I do that to a head, I need time to do it. I work it for sometimes I've worked the heads for 21 days. 21 days, you fill this up. I have a mixture that I make, and I just work it. You see, a lot of you want to order spells and you want me to do it in a week. I can't do that because I schedule everything. So everybody has a time slot. And then also, I don't work on the weekends. Unless it's a destruction spell that I have scheduled, I can't work on the weekends and then work Monday to Friday. I can't do that to myself. So coming home from work to work and then working on the weekends, it doesn't work like that. I go away. I travel. So sometimes my phone calls, I don't get to make it to you guys. Sometimes I have to reschedule a service. everything gets done. But I'm living my life too. So you guys, I know you want things done and you want things done rapidly, but you guys, it doesn't really work like that. I don't know no spiritual worker that works round the clock 24/7. You can't do that to yourself. You'll drain yourself, you'll overwork yourself, and you have nothing left in you. You'll have to start over from scratch, basically, trying to build back that energy from draining yourself so much. The energy has to come from somewhere. It comes from you, and you put it into the spells. So a lot of you have to really, really, really be patient when it comes to working with a spiritual worker and what you want, and even just, I tell you exactly what it is. I don't want you to expect the unexpected. This is what it is. I tell you your service will be scheduled within 7 to 10 days, sometimes 7 to 14 days. I'll have that time frame because it's impossible for me to have, 10 altars in my house with 500 candles lit. Like, that's very, very unsafe. And I have to put my time and energy into each service that I'm doing. I have to make your candles. All of that. That wax has to be melted down. I have to color it. I have to put the herbs in it. I have to make my oils. I have to do all of that. So everything is not going to get done in 2 days. So if you do place an order, you have to wait for it to be prepared. Everything has to be prayed over. I have to make this, make that. I have to sometimes make the bracelet. Depending on what type of bracelet it is, I have to make the bracelets. So I have to make my oils. I have to make your jars. I have to do all of that. Sometimes there's a certain flower I'm waiting for that I ordered that needs to come to my house. And maybe an herb I have to travel and get over the weekend. Maybe on a Wednesday I have to wait till Saturday and go drive and get it. I like a lot of my herbs fresh, and then, I dry them out myself. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into what I do. So I just want you guys to be very, very patient in certain things. So let's finally get to the apple spell. I think I covered everything that I needed to cover. All right. So I explained to you guys in the beginning, for those of you that, if you fast forward, that's your business. Okay. I told you why the candle is crooked. I told you the situation. All right. So you need, for this spell, an apple. Make sure that sometimes the apples, they'll sit up, but then they have a little lean to them. This one had a little lean to it. It didn't look that bad, but when I finally did dig the hole and put the candle in, it made it slant because of the way the hole was. So you're going to need a fresh apple, okay? Apples can generally stay, looking beautiful for sometimes 10 days. It all depends on what kind of apple you get and what supermarket. But for this situation, you need a candle. Let me see. These are the really thicker candles. I have another kind here that's kind of thin. So you want to get the thicker kind. This is thicker going around. This is kind of small when compared to this. I don't know if the camera is actually showing you guys, but this is like double the size. So you want the thicker 4-inch candle. Okay, 4-inch candlestick. You're going to need an apple. You're going to need, if you do not have fresh wax, because I always have fresh wax because I make candles. So if you don't have fresh wax for this situation, then you could just take a regular candle. Let me see if I have pink over here. Okay. This is probably not going to do it all, but you need a candle that you can melt all the wax around. Now, I always have wax, so I used some pink wax. I made it pink, and I poured it all over this. So what you're going to do is you're going to get an apple. You're going to dig a hole. The hole has to be at least 2 inches into this apple. Okay? So 2/3 of the apple you're going to be digging a hole into. Once you've done that, once you have done that, now you're going to fill the hole with ginseng root. It should be ginseng or gentian, G-E-N-T-I-A-N. I always get it confused. I probably never even said it right before, but that you're going to put that root in there. You're going to put cherry. You're going to put, what else you're going to put? Cherry bark. And then I have cupid berries down there. I have patchouli, which is this, and then I have some red, or you can put pink roses down inside. 5 herbs. You're going to take a petition paper. You're going to take a petition paper, and you're going to put his name down in it, the person you want to lust for you, what you want to lust, whoever it is, whatever you want, whatever the situation is, you're going to write it. You're going to put it all the way down at the bottom of that hole. Now, at the bottom of the candle, what you're going to do is you're going to fill it with wax, then you're going to put some herbs. Then you're going to fill it with wax. Then you're going to put some herbs. So you're creating a candle in there as well. So when this starts to melt down, all of the wax will go down. Then I'll be able to add in another candle after that, because I've created a base of wax. Then when you get to the top, what I did was I took the rest of the wax and poured it all over. I was trying to actually cover the whole candle, but then this probably would have got covered and hard. So I said, you know what? Let me just cover as much as I can. I poured it all over. Okay, so basically what I did was I used the outer layer of the apple, and I filled it up with so much wax in there. It's basically all of the inside is wax. So you can see. I hope you guys can see. So you see how the apple is all lined around? So as I got closer to the top, and then I stuck the candle in because I wanted the candle to burn a lot more. I didn't really want to stick it down and be halfway. So as this candle burns down, it's basically, you know, going to leave more space for me to add in another candle. So, I mean, basically that's how you can do yours as well. But if you don't have, you know, access wax like that, and then you'll basically be melting one of these candles. And, you know, it takes time to make spells. So, basically, that's just what you will be doing. You can use the jumbo candles, and you can melt up all the wax in there. And you want to turn it like this. You want the wax to drip down. You don't want it to drip this way, because then it's going to keep putting the candle out. So, put it this way. And then after that, once you light it, and then, you know, melt it in as I told you. So, I have about I have like 5 different layers in there. Wax, herbs, wax, herbs, wax, herbs. And, you know, it's pretty stuck in there. Like, it's really not going to go nowhere. So, as you do that, you can create your own prayers. Like I told you guys, you don't have to say Psalms all the time. You can create your own love and prayers from your heart. And you can pray to a deity if you want to. You can also make one of these also as an offering to certain spirits as well. But you don't have to pray to a specific saint or deity. You can just work it and pray. You know, pray to God for more lust in your life from this person, and however you want. Make sure that you word it well, because you can't ask this person to lust for you and then fall in love with you next week. Like, lust and love are 2 different things, and as an adult, you guys need to really understand that. So I know a lot of you are going to want to work this spell. I explained every single detail on how you should work it. Now, as far as who you should work it for, it makes no sense for you to email me and ask me, should I do this for the guy that works at my job? You have to do it in order to see what happens. Yes, you can do it, but don't ask me, would it work for him? You need a reading for that. I don't know if it's going to work for him. I don't know if it's going to work for him, because I don't know how he feels. I don't know what type of person he is. Straight off from you telling me the email, should I work it for my boss to make him love? Yes, you can. But you have to understand also, you guys, a lot of you want to know, oh, how did the spell go? Everybody's spell is going to be different. Work the spell. Do it the right way, okay? After it's done, after working it for a while, what you can also do, you can sprinkle some honey on it, just a little bit around the herbs. After working it for a while, give it some time to work and see what happens. Don't just automatically, you know, oh, it didn't work yet and it's been, you know, just 48 hours. Actually give the shit some real fucking time to work. Like, you guys are really impatient. Really, really impatient when it comes to getting the results. I know you want shit to move really, really quick. But you're testing your own strength. You're testing your own magic. And if you have not built that up within your life yet, then you need to continue building up your spiritual energy. You need to continue working on that. You need to continue making sure you're cleansed, making sure you're well protected. Because a lot of you out there, you're constantly getting attacked by your enemy. If you are very well protected, your enemy cannot touch you. And you should have binded your enemy a long time ago, so they could never, ever fucking use their hands to touch no spell on you, ever. So you guys got to see, that's the thing too. Now, I could teach you guys how to do it. Then a lot of you want to be out here binding up anybody as possible. Now, that's what you use binding for. Okay? Binding restricts, like I said a million times. So bind your enemy's hands. Nail them down, pin them down, cement their asses so they can't touch you. Okay? Create a solid foundation of protection among yourself that nobody could touch you. No one at all. Okay, you wear your protective jewelry, your mojo, keep your house protected, your car, even your kids. Your kids are a gateway to people coming into you. Those are your kids. And if you are an emotional parent when it comes to your kids, if they could break your kids down, they could break you down. And they will get to you. So make sure you have protected every single thing about you. Even your automobile. Protect your car. What if they go put a spell on your car and make you get in a car crash? Then what happens? Have you been protected? Are you well protected? Think about that. Consider that. Okay? When you go to the car wash, you can put some Chinese wash all over your car. They're going to wash it anyway. Put some Chinese wash, a little bit of fairy wall, and a bottle spraying the inside. Keep your protective charms in there. Always do everything that is needed and necessary to make sure that no one can touch you. See, I know a lot of you are weakened from your enemy, and you're constantly trying to work spells. You know, I get a lot of emails daily. Oh, I'm trying to work this spell. I've been doing it, you know, for a whole year. Obviously, it's not working. You don't have that power and that strength to move that. And if you've been working on something for a long time, some people may never gain that spiritual energy to be able to do anything. And that's why they need outside help. So, you know, sometimes it's just not your fault. But you got to make sure the enemy stays weakened. Always. I told you guys in the beginning, I told you guys you make a mirror box spell, you put them in there. Maybe that's something I need to try to do. Because, I mean, sometimes I don't have time to do the video. You know, so I might not be able to do it. But I'll try to get a video up showing you how to do that. There's many ways to hold the enemy down. And you guys are looking over every single which way. And then you're being attacked. And you want to know why, you know, you're not protected. You have to keep yourself protected. One candle and is not going to keep you protected. One candle, one in your whole life. No, you can work a protection candle once a month. You can work a cleansing candle once a month. And if you're serious about your spiritual work, period, every single thing around you is going to be protected. You'll probably have some kind of protection in your phone as well. Because you get paranoid. You know, the worst type of thing is when you just keep getting hit left and right. And I think that's what makes a spiritual hypochondriac. Like, subscribe, and stay blessed.